What's up, guys? It's Devin. Small collection purchase, a lot, so to say. Shout out to the person who sold this to me. Is someone who actually watches the videos here on my YouTube and has reached out to me via email prior to this and has sold me a few different lots. I want to say this is our third or fourth deal now. So shout out to Josh. Appreciate you selling me this lot and some of the other ones previously. He had purchased a large collection himself, and inside the collection he found some stuff that he thought I could do well with, and got a chunk of money back from the collection. Plus he got some sweet stuff from the collection himself, so he was doing more than well on his part of the collection. But this is going to be 39 cards, all memorabilia cards and all game worn, from, I want to say it was like the earlier 2000s. I'd have to look at it. Again, I can't remember everything. He reached out, said like, hey, these are the 39 cards I have. Are you interested? He gave me a price. I didn't even need to look it up. I felt like he had been more than fair with me on previous deals, so I just said yes. I ended up paying $220 for all 39 cards. I didn't feel the need to comp anything. Josh has been more than fair in the past. And at the end of the day, to break down 39 cards by $220, it was $5.64 per card. So even if I lost some money, it wasn't going to be anything crazy. But I don't think I will. Typically, Josh has been very, very good to me in the past. And the one interesting thing about this collection, it was very well taken care of. So everything is in these little screw downs, which will be interesting, but it looks like they should be okay in there. But he had a few other big cards from the collection, and they ended up being very well conditioned. So very curious to see how these ones end up being. All right, I try to. These were sorted out into kind of different lots here. Let's see. That was all the SP game used. There was a lot of like SP game used. There was a lot of the authentics. And then there was kind of like an odds and end group, which was, I think, this one. There we go. Those were all authentics. Sweet. All right, we're going to do the odds and ends first. I haven't looked at everything. I briefly took a look at the pictures that he sent, but first up, an Edgerrin James honor roll. And again, all of these are game used. Ooh. Or some practice, sorry. At least they're worn and not just... they're not just random jerseys. So practice worn here on the Edgerrin James honor roll. Frank Thomas game swatches. So there might be a handful of like the honor roll ones that are not. But Frank Thomas. Chris Carter honor roll. Practice worn jersey. I don't believe any of them are serial numbered either. I think they're all base memorabilia. Kickoff Classics, LaDainian Tomlinson with the Chargers. A little LT action. Game used for LT. There was 2 of the Chris Carters. Be very curious to check out the conditions of these once I take them out to kind of see how they're doing. Thurman Thomas, throwback threads. Ooh, that one's serial numbered out of 150. Game worn for Thurman. That's pretty cool. Threads of Time, Frank Robinson out of 350. 57 out of 350. Game worn. Donovan McNabb, Kickoff Classics out of 150. Game used. Then star quality Roger Clements with the Yankees out of 350. Game used. So it's a nice variety of players. Definitely some decent names in here. I don't think there was anything like super crazy name wise. Like there wasn't, I don't think there was any Kobe Bryant's or LeBron's or MJ's or when you talk about baseball, I don't think there's any Jeter or Ohtani or anything like that. But definitely some fun names nonetheless. I mean, these are all the authentics, the authentic tickets plus jersey for basketball. So that's an authentic ticket in there, if I remember correctly. And then a piece of a game-worn jersey for Allen Iverson. Which is pretty cool. At least those used to be. I don't know if it might not be an actual piece of the ticket. Maybe that's a different set that I'm thinking about. But Allen Iverson. You got Karl Malone with a 3-color jersey. 1, 2, 3. None of these are serial numbered, but they all should be game worn. John Stockton. So you got both the players from the Jazz. Gary Payton with the Sonics. Grant Hill with the Magic. Jason Kidd with the New Jersey Nets. Tracy McGrady with the Orlando Magic. So definitely some big-time names here, no doubt. Plenty of guys that are in the Hall of Fame. Paul Pierce for the Celtics. Reggie Miller with the Pacers. Little pinstripe action, 2-color jersey. And you're going to round it out with Ray Allen with the Bucks. So those ones are definitely sweet. The Authentics ticket / jersey combo for the NBA. And then this one, I want to say it was 2001. Yeah, 2001 SP Game Used Edition. A bunch of baseball jerseys. None of these should be serial numbered. So you got Greg Maddux. Yep, authentic piece of a jersey used by Greg Maddux in a major league game. So you got Greg Maddux for the Braves. Jose Canseco for the Yankees. 2 of him. Fernando Tatis for the Cardinals. Cal Ripken Jr. for the Orioles. Again, they should all be game used. Yeah. These should all be game used. Jason Giambi for the Athletics. Jeff Kent for the Giants. Chipper Jones for the Braves. Another Greg Maddux for the Braves. Barry Bonds for the Giants. Definitely a lot of quality names in all the sports here. Tony Gwynn ×2. The only thing about the 01 SP Game Used for baseball, I don't think any of these were 2-color. I think they were all one color jerseys. Fernando Tatis again. Jeff Kent again for the Giants. Probably one of the better ones here. Ken Griffey Jr. for the Mariners. Can't go wrong with the kid. Sammy Sosa, little pinstripe action for the Cubbies. 2-color, white and blue. Mariano Rivera for the Yankees. And then a couple more Chipper Jones. So ended up being 3 total Chipper Jones. So definitely a fun lot. Like I said, I don't even know true market value here. I would assume once you average it all out, maybe it'll be worth around the $300 range. So closer to like the $8 per, $7 per, something around there. Would be my guess. I don't think there's anything crazy in here. I would think the most expensive one would be maybe around like $12, $15, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, I didn't look at values of these ones. I had dealt with Josh plenty of times before and want to make sure I just took his offer, and want to say thank you for previous deals. And this one seemed like a fun one either way. Kind of a cheap opportunity, getting some game worn stuff of some quality players, some serial numbered stuff, some non-serial, and just have some fun with it. So that was the lot. Again, it was 39 jersey cards, some serial numbered, majority game worn. There was a couple that were practice jerseys that ended up being like $5.64 per that I paid. So thanks to Josh. Thank you for watching. Everyone have a great day, and don't forget to smile. Later, guys.